Hello, Gold and Silver Stacker. As a Christmas present, I received a digital microscope. And if I pan up, you'll be able to see what the subject of today's video will be about. Okay, let's talk about the Mexican 1-ounce Silver Libertad. This is a Type 1 Libertad. In fact, it's 1983, but Type 1s are between 1982 and 1995. It features on the obverse a single central eagle perched on a cactus with a serpent in its beak and talon. I thought it'd be interesting to look a little bit more closely at the design elements. In the flat areas, if you're fortunate, you're going to see flow lines. They're fine radial lines from the metal movement during striking. If I see some of those, I'll point them out to you as we zoom in and look closer at the coin. You should see hairline scratches most likely. This is a brilliant uncirculated coin, but it does have bag marks. Look for thin random lines from handling or sliding. They will often cross flow lines rather than follow them. Also, I don't believe Type 1s are known for milk spotting, but we've all heard about milk spotting. That's cloudy or white patches with irregular borders. The texture may be grainy or muted compared to the surrounding metal. There's no metal loss. The understanding is that milk spotting is from the annealing process or from the cleaning process of the planchet prior to striking. And although I've seen online people using an eraser or various forms to try to remove the milk spots, I don't really know how successful that is long term. If someone understands what the ramifications of that are, besides potentially reducing numismatic value and obviously damaging the surface of the coin, please go ahead and comment. Where I see it most often is in modern, say, sovereign bullion coinage. The Britannias, Canadian maple leafs are notoriously known for it up to, I believe, 2015, when they started treating their planchets differently. I have seen American Seagull Eagles, particularly 2010, that milk spot really bad. On the devices, you want to look for contact marks or nicks, sharp edge marks with displaced metal. That's going to be common on the high points like the wings, beak, the cactus spines. So we'll take a look at that. You might get some micro wear, a slight rounding on the highest points. And, if we see that, I'll point that out. Some of the things to look for that are dye related are dye polish lines, thin, uniform directional lines beneath the surface. They'll be in a consistent direction, and that's what distinguishes them from random scratches. Also, dye chips. I've heard in the modern Type 4 Libertads of small dye chips appearing in different years, but that's going to be a small raised irregular metal blob. I believe that dye chips can also, obviously a dye chip can cause a raised area, but I also believe that coin could have something that is a result of a bad dye that may look like a little divot out of the coin surface. So let's explore the obverse of a Type 1 Libertad a little bit further. We're first going to just zoom in. What you're hearing is me zooming in on the coin. You can see the eagle with the serpent and his talon clutching it. Pretty aggressive, strong eagle. And you can see he's sitting on a cactus. I can at least try to keep it in focus for you. So as we come down, well, let's look at that magnification. Now any changes in intensity is the result of me blocking some of the light, which can actually help us. Just a great looking obverse. I mean, look at the detail even on the cactus, let alone the eagle. This was, yeah, I mean, this is a particularly nice coin. I can actually see what I believe are flow lines. Let me see if I can lower it. I think you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, you can just kind of see those lines underneath the cactus to the left, and even underneath the eagle's talon clutching the serpent. I believe you can see some good flow lines. There's a nice bag mark, nick. You can actually see what they talk about when they talk about a little bit of wear. You can see where some mint luster, where there's been some contact marks, just rubbing a little bit of the luster off. You can see the edging almost has a double. I don't know if that's a scratch or a die crack there on the lower part of the edging, right where my finger is touching. That's interesting. If you know what that's called, please mention it in the comment section. The lettering looks particularly nice. And I think a lot of that other stuff isn't scratches around the reading. I actually think that's dust that was caught. So look at the serpent. Just, oh, that's nice. A little bit of, you can get the contrast right there. I would zoom in further, but I don't think you're gonna learn much more about the coin. This is kind of intended just for you to get a little bit of a close-up of what you normally wouldn't see, or you'd have to look through a loop. Nice coin. I don't see any evidence of double die or even a doubled die, nor do I see any evidence of mechanical doubling from a loose die in the holder. Just really nice. Let me flip it around and we'll talk about the reverse. Okay, now we'll flip it. Oh, we do need to talk about the edge lettering. Okay, so on the reverse we have Winged Victory, one of Mexico's most important national symbols. The design is based on the Angel of Independence monument located in Mexico City. The monument was created by the Italian sculptor Enrique Alcati and unveiled in 1910, the centennial of what Mexico considers their independence. At least it was the Declaration of Independence from Spain. They didn't actually achieve independence until 1821 with the collapse of the Spanish Empire. The Winged Victory as an allegorical figure represents victory, liberty, and national independence. In her right hand, holding over her head, is a laurel wreath. That's a symbol of victory, honor, and triumph. And in her left hand is a broken chain. I don't know if... We'll have to zoom in on that. But actually I can see a link. I can see a half of a link, a full link, and then another half of a link. I love the symbolism of the broken chain. So I'm hoping that for some of you, you get a kick out of getting to look close up with this digital microscope. When I looked at this pose, it reminded me, I collect U.S. standing Liberty quarters, which were minted between 1916 and 1930. And when I looked at her pose of standing, and particularly her toes, I'm so used to looking at the toes and how her robe is draped, or the sheet is draped around her leg and knee. It just reminded me so much of a standing Liberty quarter. So why is that? The standing Liberty quarter was designed by a different sculptor, Herman McNeil. The Winged Victory and Standing Liberty are classical allegorical female figures. They're both shown standing upright with a balanced posture. They're influenced by Greco-Roman sculpture traditions. It would be interesting to dig deeper and see if McNeil did get some inspiration from Winged Victory. As you may recall, the Standing Liberty holds a shield and an olive branch, while Winged Victory is holding symbols of victory and emancipation. What to look for? Just like on the obverse, but just as a reminder, we're looking for the fields, we're looking for surface abrasions, faint scuffs, or overlapping lines from handling. We're looking for milk spotting. We're looking for any high point wear from the raised design elements. We're looking for contact marks, small dings with sharp edges. On the edges, we're looking for, around the edges, we're looking for any small disruptions along the letter edges, uneven metal displacement, that would be edge dings. In die chips, once again, are raised blobs near letters, numbers, or the rim. We'll take a look at that. On the die surface, they do polish the dies, so sometimes you will get polish lines. Let's zoom in and as promised, I wanted to show you the chain, the broken links in her, or the broken chain in her hand. You can see the Mexico Mint mark. Got some contact marks. Otherwise, I'm not seeing anything that the reverse. Looks pretty good. This is a frosty coin, and you can just see that luster. There's some radial flow lines underneath Anza. That looks pretty cool. And okay, I managed to pull a 1984 Mexico Libertad that actually does show some die polish marks. If you look at the left arm to the left of Plata Pura, you can see some straight lines up and down, as well as to the right of the A. There's a really smooth area where they polished the coin. And then lastly, why don't we take a close-up of edge. Okay, I'm gonna flip it around. So here's what's on the edge. Liberty, independence, yeah, liberty and independence and liberty. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit more of an in-depth exploration of a Type 1 Libertad. Please let me know if you noticed anything of interest and whether you enjoyed this, because I'd be happy to oblige and do other type Libertads or explore a particular coin that you want to look at up close, including gold coinage. Thank you very much.